welcome to a Puff Puff Hour, a Dragon Quest podcast. Today we're going to be reviewing Dragon Quest VII.
Fragments of the Forgotten Past.
Fragments of the Forgotten Past.
Or of the Forgotten Podcast. Oh, yeah. Puns!
Boom. Yeah, so we're back from our sabbatical.
Sabbatical?
That's as good a thing as any.
It was a summer vacation. We'll say that.
It's a very long summer vacation.
I don't even think kids get like 3 full months out of school anymore either. So yeah, Greg's got a good point here.
Well, college you get out at like April. So
when do you have to go back for that though?
End of August.
May, June,
so
July.
It's kind of close.
Okay.
We took the college higher education summer break.
Okay. All right.
So, where have we been?
I don't know. Been waiting to get this all recorded. Schedules are a bitch, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. We've been done for like a month and a half.
Yeah.
So yeah, we figure like,
how's that new job treating you? I say new, like, you know, it's new to everybody else listening here.
Well,
but
now at this point, I'm used to it.
Yeah.
So I've been working nights at Target. And
you probably get a union bonus too for how long you've been at the job now.
Well, no. I get some benefits, but they're not great. But yeah, that's where I've been at Target, and that's taken a lot of my game time away since I'm full-time there now, and I sleep in the day.
Not enough to get another game beat.
That's always fun.
But
it's awesome.
I know. Don't they just call you in at any schedule?
No, I set my own schedule, but...
Oh,
still,
wait a minute.
The hours
wait
are
a minute
sucky.
here. Let me load up the shotgun. What?
Okay, so when I first got hired there, I picked my schedule, and that's the one that I keep. So it's not like every week I come in and make a new schedule. It's a set thing. So it's at least 10 hours a day for 4 days a week. But like the one day off that I get off after I've worked, I just sleep the whole day. So I really only get like 2 days off.
You need to be like Schweiss more.
Yeah,
you're
I gotta
with no sleep.
Sacrifice that sleep.
Schweiss did take like an hour-long nap
today.
Yeah.
It was great.
Out like right
great
after we
New Clan.
Yeah, after we did New Clan.
Well, that's where I've been. I've been working full time. It's been sucky, but that's life.
Yep.
But I got it done. I got 7 done, and we're here today.
And we have 8 done, except for Jake. So
well, way to build the hype for that.
I'm just saying that we
drum roll.
Yeah, the hype is getting to 11.
We have a
surprise. We are closer.
No, do you mean 11 as in Dragon Quest 11 or the actual hype scale up to 11?
Both, yes.
All right, well, the reason why I don't have 8 done is because I wasn't exactly kept in the loop on that. I will gladly
you were.
Hype.
I told you after I was done.
Dylan
told you when he was
starting
done.
Up like 1 or 2. No, when he was done. Literally, oh, look, done. Right smack in the dab in the middle when we're trying to plan 7's review.
I had to make up for my lack of playing 7.
Right, so I'm going to let the audience know I'm going to cruise through 8 and get it done immediately now. Now that these two have got it done, no problem.
Yeah,
You're going to see another episode very, very soon.
Surprise.
Yep.
But yeah, I just kind of like, boom, look, these two are done with the game. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'll get on it.
Yeah.
Might as well.
It was a good job. Yeah, I'm going to kill it. All right. We're going to get straight into this, gentlemen.
I think we might as well.
All right. Dragon Quest VII, also known as Warriors of Eden, over in Japan, apparently. We never got that subtitle, but for the 3DS remake, it was Fragments of the Forgotten Past.
What was it for the PS1? Was it just
it was just
7?
Dragon Warrior 7.
Yeah. When did they start doing? I always forget. When did they start doing the little subtitles?
I don't know.
8? Was it
8 would have been the first prominent one here in the States, but I have
that
no
would make-
idea when it would have started in Japan.
That would have made sense because
If you guys
is
know, let
called
us
Journey
know.
of the Cursed King.
Right.
So it probably was 8.
Or 7,
Yeah.
because they, over in Japan, was Warriors of Eden. So,
Was that on release?
in Japan, I think so. I could be wrong. You Dragon
Maybe-
Quest
maybe they
listeners
all
that
had-
know a lot more than
Maybe
us.
they all
Let
had
us
the
know.
subtitles in Japan, and
Yeah.
then they just started bringing them over in 8.
Yeah, it is something we
Alright,
would
that would
really,
make
really
sense.
like to know. I'd set up that Hori interview.
I swear we looked this up before, but I don't know. I forgot.
Probably. But mainly it was the game follows the hero and his friends as they discover secrets about the mysterious island surrounding their home of Esterd. Through some ancient ruins, they are transported to the past of various islands and must defeat the evil in each new location. The main flow of the game is different from the other Dragon Quest games. Instead of exploring one large world, the party goes to separate continents by placing stone fragments upon their appropriate pedestals in the Shrine of Mysteries. Once all the missing fragments are located and placed from a particular pedestal, the party is transported to the location in the past. After solving whatever problems plague the location, the party then travels back to Esterd, the beginning island, again and again and again.
It's like
Yeah,
Banjo-Kazooie.
that's it. That's
That's
that's everything. We can all go home now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was
If
worth the
only
wait.
it was that simple of a 100 hours.
I mean, it is, but at the same time, we experienced the long way around.
Do you guys remember what your final game time was?
91.
Mine was like 85.
I think mine was like 102. I did
do
a
any
lot of
size?
grinding though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I like the class system.
I do too, but the game is like, we'll
So,
get into the game.
like, I got
It's,
obsessed
really
with it.
streamlined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yes, in some aspects, no in others.
So yeah.
So it's just like a little synopsis. Do we want to go straight into development? This is an interesting development.
All right,
I
let's
found
go.
it.
Let's go development, and then we'll talk story.
It was mainly the three main guys, as usual. Hori, Toriyama, and Sugiyama. But strangely, it was directed for the first time by someone other than Hori. It was Manabu Yamana. And Shintaro Majimi signed on as the art director. So the game was delayed numerous times before its release.
Kind of like this podcast episode.
Work on the game
It was in honor of the game.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
We planned it all along.
Yes.
We're that dedicated to it.
Work on the game was extended because the development staff wanted to perfect the game due to high expectations from the fans and became the team only consisting of about 35 people.
Dang.
Hori stated in an interview that the team focused more on puzzle solving than the game's story. And apparently if you play the PS1 version, that's
Yeah.
what they're talking about. Being the first game in the series to include 3D graphics, the team was also initially reluctant to include CG movies and cinematics due to letters written to Enix by fans fearing that doing so would change the overall feeling of the series to be akin to Final Fantasy VII. That's a dedicated fan base.
Yeah. Well,
That's interesting. The English language localization translating over 70,000 pages of text via 20 translators and 5 copy editors. There's a photo going around, I'll include this into the episode description, of all of these binders that are all labeled. That is nothing but the entire set of texts and translations that they used.
Oh man.
It was like its own little mini library. It's not right. No effort was made to edit or censor the context of the Japanese script. Soon after the game's release, developer Heartbeat went on hiatus. Justin Lucas, production manager of Enix America, commented on the hiatus, saying that the developer merely worked their tails off on Dragon Warrior 7 and Dragon Warrior 5. They decided to take a sabbatical for a while and rest up, noting that it had nothing to do with the game's U.S. sales. The back of the Dragon Warrior 7 manual in North America contained an advertisement for Dragon Warrior 4, a PlayStation-enhanced remake. The localization was subsequently canceled due to Heartbeat's hiatus. And translations, man, that's
70,000 pages.
And considering, I believe this game, the 3DS version, which we all played, right?
Yeah.
It even took like 3 years to get over here in the States as well. Like, Japan got it like way earlier than us.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
So they went back through and apparently did it again.
That's
because
rough.
there's a lot of NPCs in this game that have their own text and dialogue.
There's a
policies.
shitload.
And it's not necessary because they don't give you much context on where the fuck to go.
No, they don't.
And if you don't talk to them in the right goddamn order, you could completely go up to a fucking abandoned tower thinking that's where you go next. Nobody's there. And you go back into town, and then you just start talking to people in a random order, and then a cutscene actually happens, and then you go back to the top of the tower, and actually something happens. That's not right.
Yeah, that's why I used a guide.
I did later. I can't remember what town it was.
I had
got
to
screwed
eventually.
somewhere,
There was some really fucky puzzles in this game.
And like the game's long
It's not
enough.
necessarily a puzzle. It's
a puzzle when you have to figure out a systematical order of NPCs to talk to.
systematic.
It's a pretty big puzzle. The entirety of the game.
Yeah, that seemed to be a theme though of the game.
The puzzles.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the entirety of the world is just puzzle pieces.
Exactly.
Apparently. So,
that's why I
yeah.
was like, it's Banjo-Kazooie. Got to get the puzzle pieces to unlock the next
well,
level.
the one part that isn't a puzzle is realizing that you do have to go back to each island. That was made pretty fucking clear every goddamn time between the past and the present.
How did you guys feel about that?
I didn't like it.
Yeah, I feel
At
like
all.
it was artificial, just to extend.
It's not
the length.
necessary.
See, okay, this is kind of a story problem for me for this game, and it's so you kind of figure out that when you go to the new islands the first time, you're going back in time, and then when the new island just appears, because you said everything right, technically everyone should just know that island is there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But then they don't. They don't fucking know. And they're like, a new island appeared out of nowhere. We've never fucking seen this place before. We were the only island on the fucking planet.
Yeah, you know what?
And then the people who are on that island are like, we've been here the whole time. You guys
This
are
is the
just
new
fucking
island?
idiots. Like, it's like, what? How do the people who have lived on the island just know that they've been there the whole time? But the people on the main island are just like, you fucking haven't. Why
like
do they have separate memories?
It's like the island in Wonder Woman. Like, it's just there. It's been there the whole time, but you can't see it.
It's like a magic
It's
barrier
invisible.
thing, but it's nothing like that is explained.
It's
in
just
the
assumed,
game.
I guess.
They just have separate memories, and it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Would you say they're fragmented memories?
Yes.
You would say that.
Of
That is the thing you
the
would
past?
say. Yeah. Yeah, you would say that exact phrase. It's
You know what I equate those people to?
what?
Flat Earth theorists.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of like
They fucking are.
Well, they wouldn't be wrong.
Well, it's fucking weird
This
though because
context.
like,
They all think there's one goddamn continent, and then
Yeah.
when another one appears, it's just nothing to
but
them.
everybody else, every other island is like, yeah, it's been there the whole time. We've been here the whole time. I don't know what you're talking about.
I think there's some
But then the
characters
people-
that actually reference other islands, too.
Yeah.
Like, how would they know?
Yeah.
The fisherman.
There's
Yeah,
like one of the
fisherman.
first islands that you go back to. Like they're like, your island just
Valley
suddenly appeared, and then they're like, no, we've been here the whole fucking time.
Just forgot about him.
It's like, do you know about our island? It's like, yeah, sure, why not?
It makes sense.
I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense because they're literally going back in time to fix the problem.
Mm-hmm.
There's more time plot stuff later.
The fun part about that is they go to try and fix it, and what's good with any time-related plot, in time travel, sorry, they don't actually fix some of the goddamn problems. They actually make it worse. It's like handing Cliff the goddamn fucking notebook. It's handing them the sports almanac about all the fucking scores. You're not helping. You're hurting this situation.
Yeah.
So, yeah, do we want to get into story? Does Craig want to summarize this up?
Did we finish development?
That is the whole development.
Yeah, let's get into story.
I will simply say one line, and one line only to describe this.
The story.
Yes, 12 islands of side plot and some guy named Orgadermer.
Yeah, that is the plot. I mean, okay, like, we can do a play-by-play of each island if we want, but, like, literally
can
the
remember.
entirety of the plot is the first part of the plot is you find a puzzle piece and you go to the ancient temple for some fuck-off reason because you're kids and you want to explore. And then you place it on the pedestal, and all of a sudden, you go back in time, and they're just like, oh, we got to figure out how to get home. Then they figure out the puzzles and solve the problem there. They go back, and then there's just randomly a fucking island. And then every adult is like, a fucking island just appeared out of fucking nowhere. We got to go over there and figure out what's happening. And then you go sneak over on your own ship that you just randomly have. And then you figure out that you had gone back in time.
Fisherman, so
yeah, I mean, it's like
I know. If anybody would have a random ass fucking boat at their disposal, it would be the son of a fisherman.
They took a broken boat from one of the king's fleets or whatever. Those I think what Kiefer said, and then they fixed it up. And I was like, that's okay. Yeah. They just have it hidden because it's wrong to have it or something. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So the plot is essentially the world is a puzzle. And they found the puzzle piece for the next part of their section of the world.
Yeah.
There's a random NPC that guards this area.
Yeah, that fucking weird fairy dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to have more to do with
plot
the story.
relevance.
Maybe he was the villain the whole time.
Instead of just being a narrator.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I haven't played much of the original. I've only seen a little bit of it, but I believe the pedestals are just there on their own, and that guy is there for you to talk to select where you want to go. Because what I've seen originally is you're moving from room to room to room with all these individual pedestals for you to select which one you want to go inside. Ugh. He seems to be the guy that you streamline to, let me just move over to this one by selecting it.
So they created that guy for the sole purpose of streamlining the process of moving between islands.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I appreciate that.
In a way, that's okay, but at the same time, I don't feel like that's much of a time saver. Because if you're literally just wandering through that temple, which has no battles, that's
you'd
not.
Have to go to each pedestal and figure out which one had the fragment in it.
Well, I mean, if they're color coded like they were in the 3DS, then you know what one you have to
Of the 5 other pedestals, you'd still need to go select from.
You can
I'm saying it's a little bit of a time save.
I mean,
that's all.
Maybe, but as far as what they could have done, that seems pretty bare minimum.
Yeah, I'm
Especially
fine with
when
it.
they created a new character to
I'm
just
fine with it.
I mean, yeah, I am too, but it just seems like
But give him
He's
more of
there
a
for
purpose.
convenience to let the guys know that, hey, you're going to the past.
I would
not gonna
I
tell
would have
you
preferred.
why.
I would have preferred they just cut out
any
like a
reason.
third of the game. No,
Oh, really?
2/3 of the game, really, and then just had that be like side questy stuff.
I would agree with a third of the game.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so
then
the
you'd
the
have-
actual plot, like any plot relevant things that happen in like Emberdale, and then the last like 20 hours of the game,
Yeah.
That's pretty much true.
and then it's like,
It's like mostly side plot.
that 2/3 of the game is side plot, which you could easily cut out. You know, you can go
So-
explore the other islands if you want. You can find the puzzle pieces to the other islands
Yeah.
on the islands that you go to for the main story, and then just explore each of the things. Because like each of the islands you go to anyway is its own kind of closed off story
Yeah.
that like is touched vaguely by like some ominous being, and that's why it's the
pretty
main
much
plot.
when you-
So it's like, okay, so it's a very episodic game
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
has no real overarching story other than like the devil is just messing with people
And
Yeah,
they don't
for
even
none-
say his
for
name.
literally no reason.
They don't even say his name until like the last 20 hours of the game.
Yeah, like that's when they when they reveal
section.
who it is, then they're like, "Oh yeah, that's the guy, that's the demon lord,
Yep.
no,
Orgrimmar.
Orgrimmar."
Orgrimmar. Yeah, and
Orgrimmar.
revealed to be the demon lord.
God, they have all
So it
have
happens-
fucking stupid names like Orgrimmar, Mortimer, fucking like whatever the other guys were. At least the first guy was like just demon, like the Dragon,
Dragon
Lord. Yeah, I'm
Lord.
just Dragon Lord. That's my name. First name Dragon, last
So you're
name
saying
Lord.
when we review 8, you don't like Dolmegas?
Don't make this fine.
So yeah, pretty much it's when you restore the whole entire world, you actually get some plot. You end up figuring out about the demon lord, who disguises himself as God and seals several of the islands away once again.
Yeah,
Because, extending out the game.
for more repetition than
Yes.
was already happening.
I did like that story element, but just like repeats of
stupid.
what
That's
happened
stupid.
earlier.
So you end up having to find the elemental spirits: wind, fire, earth, and water. So
Yeah.
that was
They're
fun.
useful,
That's
too.
when the game really started kicking up for me. To be honest,
Yeah,
Like,
that's
the
when it
last third of the
started.
game
That's when it
is
started
really
picking
great.
up.
So what was
he
that,
ends up-
like the last 15 hours?
I'd say 20. but-
20 hours?
Yeah, he ends up raising
Yeah,
his dark
about
palace,
20
and
hours.
with the aid of the flying rock, the party confronts him in the final battle.
The flying rock.
And one of the easiest final bosses in the series.
Unless
My
you're
opinion.
underleveled, which I
He under level,
was.
huh? But yeah, it's
I had to go back and grind for like 10 or 15 more levels.
yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't bad though. There was metal slimes all over.
There were a lot of metal slimes.
How did you feel about the first Orgrimmar fight? Because I got stuck on him for a bit, actually, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
Remember when you face him the first time and then he says, "Oh wait, boom, I'm resurrected."
He beat me once.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I lost that fight like 1 or 2 times.
Not too bad though, overall.
They end up reuniting with the present-day roamers in a ceremony to revive God, with Aish dancing in the vestment of virtue and Crispin playing the Torban of truth. The Almighty is revived. However, unbeknownst to the party, it is really him
How
in
can God
disguise.
die?
He didn't technically die.
But they
dissipated.
revived him.
He ran out of energy. That's what I got out
Well,
of it.
wouldn't we get
So
that
what? He
same
was
thing
just
in-
asleep.
Yeah, that's why they had to do the ceremony, because he was asleep.
There's a lot of rituals in
The
this game.
ceremony of the alarm clock.
What
Yeah,
I don't
alarm
understand is why they needed the ceremony to bring back Ogredemir or whatever his name is. Because, like, that's when he reappears as God. But, like, he wasn't dormant before.
It's because you killed him. Are you referring to then or before even the plot starts in the game?
No,
Because
I
you
mean,
do
like,
defeat his body, and then he comes in as a spirit pretending to be God in order for you to basically phoenix down his ass.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it was weird.
Well, when you
It
kill
didn't
a
add up
spirit,
to
it
me.
doesn't matter. You could still resurrect it.
Yeah, but I don't understand like why go through all the ceremony and stuff. Like, if he could have just came back anyway,
I think he could.
Just to fool them, or
because he wanted to be resurrected. I don't think that he could have resurrected himself. He needed them to do it.
I think he needed the ritual to come back.
okay.
But like bunch of dipshits, instead of just leaving things at peace, we got to resurrect our god now to defend us. And
Yeah.
when we got us as warriors to defend, because clearly we just took care of the bad guy on our fucking own.
We killed the devil, but we need God now to kill the devil
Yeah,
again.
where's your god now? He wasn't here the first time, and you guys had to get the goddamn job done on your own. We don't need you.
We
Just
never
look-
needed you.
Look what ended up happened.
What I got from that is that he didn't actually die.
No, but the
I mean,
spirit
he
carries
kind of
on.
died, but he was basically still the devil, so you can't
like, the
really
ritual-
kill the devil.
The ritual had already been talked about before that happened in a different storyline. So, like, did he just adopt it for himself in order to be revived, or what?
I don't know.
I think he changed some of the elements of it
Oh,
so
okay.
that he could come back, but I'm not 100% because it's been a while.
Because when Kiefer first leaves your party, or like permanently leaves your party, that's the arc where you're reviving something. Like, was that just for the flute thing?
It was just for the float thing. It was for the
Okay.
marriage ceremony.
It's been a while since I played this, so
yeah.
like trying to remember the story
It's all good.
elements. So yeah, it makes sense to me now.
It's all coming back to you now.
Yeah, all those fragments, piecing them together.
Nice.
Yep.
Do you guys remember Mervyn communicating via mind speak?
Yeah, through the statue
Yes.
when he's on the run.
Band on the run.
Closet telepath.
Closet telepathy.
He was like my least favorite character. He just comes
I don't
in.
know. I didn't like friggin' Aisha that much either.
I thought she was good.
She was
Her-
okay.
What's her name? How do you pronounce
None
it?
of them are good. They're just okay.
Aish, but I call it Aisha because for some reason
It's Aish.
Aishe.
Okay. Well, somebody
Well-
correct us later so we can say it properly.
Well, I mean, you got a dog boy named Ruff. I mean, that's my go-to.
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
straightforward.
That's-
He's the one character that never leaves your party.
he's a badass, man. That's
Yeah.
why.
He's a dog.
I'm a
Yeah.
dog. Yeah.
He was my strongest character.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's a beast. Throw some monster stuff on
Yeah,
him. We'll
literally,
get into
he's a
that and
beast.
Yeah, I know.
Gotta.
Got a comment. Yeah. New listener.
Nice.
Welcome.
Oh, welcome. Thank you to the coming to the stream.
Yeah.
So
nice
late
to
at
have
night.
somebody.
Yeah.
So late at night at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Mountain
super
time.
dark as shit right now, so.
So, are we gonna get into favorite characters then?
If we're
I
done
mean,
with
just have
the
to
story.
fucking-
There isn't really a story.
You end up defeating him, and all is well.
How'd you like the
The
design of
second
him
time.
compared to like the past villains of the games?
It was okay. It was
It was okay.
He was one of my favorite, honestly.
Really?
Hmm.
I don't know. I liked Mortimer and whatever the hell Fives was the.
Yeah, I liked his dragon
Five is
form.
Yeah, the dragon forms, and 4 with S. Stark.
Yeah.
All the fucking goddamn pieces that kept
Yeah.
resurrecting. It was badass. It was a few color reskins, but I liked those more. Yeah, this guy's kind of run of the mill.
He's like a snake, kind of.
Yeah.
I liked his middle form the most.
Yeah.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
let's get on to favorite characters then.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Rough.
Jake.
Rough all the goddamn way. Because
Yeah.
you throw monster abilities on him, which you can easily break this game.
Yeah.
You could easily break the game real quickly. I got a fire spell that cost no MP, and I just had Rough cast it on the entire side of the field and just levy things.
I love doing that in other games when there's like a certain combo of things you can do to just break the game. Like there's a game on Game Boy Advance called Lufia: The Ruins of Lore, and
Love that.
dude, that game, I love that game. But anyway, It has a similar class system to Dragon Quest, where like you go to a certain place to like get your classes, and then if you get like the swordsman classes, and then get like the master knight class, and then get I think it's the thief class afterwards. The thief class has like a 0 MP skill called rapid fire, and it hits everyone, and it's based off of your attack, and the two highest attack gaining classes are swordsman and knight.
Yeah.
So if you gain the rapid fire ability, you can just hit everyone for a shitload of damage and for free.
Yeah.
It's great.
This is literally like turning, if you play Final Fantasy Tactics, just turn everybody into a dragoon and just have them all jump in the air.
So what I did in this one is had him learn wind sickles first.
Oh,
That was
good.
powerful
That was
early
good.
on. And then eventually he learns the boulder toss. That wrecks everybody. So yeah, he was my multi-hitter.
Yeah.
I don't really have a favorite character outside of Ruff, because I mean the main
Kiefer is just weird, and Sir Mervyn is like disappointing for being like the old legit legendary.
I know
guy.
he's
pretty
not
weak,
he's
too.
not Ragnar.
No.
He's not
Sad.
Ragnar motherfucking Ryan or Orin or nothing like that.
And then like the main character, like I could like the main character if his design weren't so fucking Link, like a poor man's Link.
Well, that's what the
Well,
class
you
system's
hated
for.
5-0, you hated
Still.
6-0, you hated 7-0. Like you had a
He
problem
doesn't like
like
the
five
heroes.
having a fucking turban. Like
I liked 5-0.
oh.
Like I felt it was weird when his cape turned red and didn't match his purple turban. But other than that, I was fine with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked the hero and I liked Ruff. The other ones were just kind of meh. I know
Yeah.
Maribel has a big following.
She's
Or
snarky.
Maribel. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's pretty sassy.
Sass.
Sassafras.
Yep.
Yeah. But you end up
don't
getting
know.
someone attached to her. You kind of want to protect her a little bit further you get in. I suppose at the beginning where you're like, how the hell am I going to drown this bitch?
She's annoying as shit.
Well, it sucks
Yeah, at
when
the
she leaves
beginning-
your party later on because she was my mage.
Well, that's the awesome open-endedness of this in the gameplay.
Yep.
It is so open to the class system and not specific to each character because like there's no special abilities for each character. You could just have anybody and everybody learn everything, and that's how I went about it. So that everybody
It's kind of
could
different in the beginning though, because I mean you
Well,
get
yeah, 'cause-
because Kiefer gets like flame slash really early.
right,
That's a decent
right.
one.
But that's we're referring to the first 15 hours before you even get to
Kiefer's-
go to All Trades Abbey.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Kiefer's
But-
pretty OP too at the
Yeah, he
beginning of
is.
the game, and then he leaves.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
There
think
is
he's
there is a
He's
purpose
strong
for that in the
character.
actual plot, surprisingly.
Yeah,
I
at
didn't
the
think there
end.
would be a payoff, but by God, by then I had completely forgotten. Like he had left the party, and
Yeah.
by the time it comes back around and you figure out who Aisha is, and Aisha, I
It
know.
just doesn't sound right.
No, it isn't
No.
right at all.
Wait. Okay. Let me see the notes. What the fuck is it? I'm gonna have to look at this.
Aisha.
I called her Aish.
And that just sounds just
Or
horrible.
Aishi.
At least I'm putting like an fluctuant language to it. Like,
All right. It
But
says
there's
her
no
name.
A
It
at the
says her
end.
name was Ira before the 3DS remake. So I'm just gonna call her Ira.
Yeah, Iris.
Okay,
Just
Iris.
call her Iris. But yeah, you figure out that she's an actual descendant of Kiefer, because Kiefer like had a thing.
Kiefer
for the
Sutherland.
bride. Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of subtle though. You don't really get it until the end, like the very last scene of the game.
Right. We can discuss some
Makes
of the
sense,
things to gameplay and how it's pretty much identical to Dragon Quest VI. There's a few subtle differences,
Well,
but not that much.
The reliance of the classes is far more valuable in this one than 6. Because I couldn't beat this one without leveling up classes,
Yeah.
but I could beat 6 without investing anything in the classes.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the classes felt better done slightly than in a few of the other ones.
Yeah, I agree with that.
This one, I think, is the first one to have the enemies just appear on the map.
Yep.
Where you can like run into them and then start the fight. Did they do that in the PlayStation version, or is that a remake thing?
I think it's in the remake thing.
Just the remake thing?
Yeah. And if we're wrong,
so
we'll
is
have a
random
correction
battle
on it
before?
later.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess it wasn't
But
the
it
first
was-
one to do that.
It did do the first-person perspective thing, though.
It is the first one in our run to do that. Let's
That's
put it
true.
that way. Yeah, so like you can run it, you can see which enemies you're going to be finding, which makes it really easy for grinding out enemies.
Yeah, you can exploit
Because you can
that.
see like what enemies are on the map, and then you can save it, and then start it up again, and the enemies change a little bit. So you can force some spawns of some metal slimes.
Yep, Metal King slimes.
Yeah,
They're supposed to be rare, but you can exploit them to appear in certain areas.
Yeah,
Goddamn, fuck you, people.
dude, how do you think I beat the game in like under 90 hours? Literally because I was grinding King Metal Slimes.
It took
may
me
or may not do that, Nate.
It took me an hour to go from level 39 to level 50 with Metal King slimes.
Goddamn.
Yeah, dude, it was
sick.
you can max.
Then how
you
did
can-
I end up still having less time than you?
I don't know. Maybe
Well,
you did
I
it longer.
did a lot of grinding too for classes.
Okay.
I did max out a few classes.
Yeah, definitely got to max up that.
Another
hero.
gameplay element that I actually didn't like is that they capped how far you could level up, like based on your actual level to your class
Don't grind
system.
so much. I'm just kidding.
So you could break the
I didn't
game
even know
really
that
early,
existed till writing up this review.
but they capped
There was a
it.
cap it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to deal with the cap problem a lot, and I do think it's a problem because I just wanted to blaze through the game.
No, you shouldn't be making it too easy. They capped you a bit. Aha. No, just
I mean, I kind of get it, but at the same time, I wanted to blaze through it too. But the game, if you play it normally, it has a pretty well balanced system. Like you should be where you need to be, like at the end of the game. If you just like fight most of what you
part.
see as you go along, yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the more balanced games I've seen. Like, you know, Final Fantasy IX is another one where it's really balanced. It's you go throughout the game. But again, this is a fucking like 90-hour game with high repetition.
padding on the
So
plot
it's
not balanced.
it's padded as fuck.
Yeah.
So like the it could have been done better by shortening the game.
Really?
And then, you know,
You're not a fan of figuring out 2 lines of plot, figuring out the fragment,
No.
putting the fragment back in, going back to the island for you to get 2 more lines of plot, saying,
No.
"Hey, look, we're
Tracking.
doing fine now. Thank you. Bye."
The only good thing I can say about Dragon Quest VII is it's a game that if you want to play it over time. Like,
If this was done episodically,
I'm talking
and we
like
reviewed each
over time.
side story, then sure.
Like you let that game take you months. Like you play it a little bit, then you play a bunch of other stuff, then you come back to it because it's fine. You won't forget like anything because there's nothing to forget. You just come back.
Well,
You do an island, you repeat
forgot
it,
a lot of
and then
stuff.
you're done for a while.
not really.
I
Look
mean-
how quickly we went through the plot, Dylan. You didn't forget much
Well,
because there's not much there.
There's no fucking. There's nothing. It's just there's
Yeah.
a bad guy. He did something to the world, and you got to put it back
You
together.
fragmented it.
there was
and
some
that's
good side
literally-
quests, though.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
but
we
that's
can-
that's
Well,
an island by island deal.
Side
It's not.
quests in quotes because it was actually plot.
Yeah, but that's
But-
that's what I was talking about before. Where like each of the islands are their own separate storylines.
Yeah.
Which is okay and is fine, but not when you're like looking at an overall story that has just nothing to it.
Yeah.
Like nothing.
Like even the character development is not really much.
Yeah, and you should have a lot considering the amount of game
Yep.
and the amount
Yeah.
of repetition. The only thing that you can lean on as far as like enjoyment would be the characters, and they're equally just like
So the
Because the
character
class
with
system.
the most development overall was Kiefer, and he leaves your party like 20 hours in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a
Yeah,
flaw.
we seem to be quite negative about this, but trust me,
I
it's still a
like the
good game.
game,
It's just
yeah.
the fact
it's-
that it's 100 hours.
There's
approximately.
a lot that we can complain about, but it's mostly geared towards how long it is.
Yeah, that's true.
The game itself is decent,
Balance,
but like
fun,
anything
but-
like good about the game is kind of taken away from it simply by how long it is.
Okay, so I have another complaint actually that I just thought
Okay.
of. So going back to the level cap, let me tell you how to break the game. So there's DLC that
Oh, yeah, I heard some people
disregards
have used
the
these.
caps. So you can just go in the area and
There's
grind
DLC for that
and
game?
grind and grind, and you can max out your levels like pretty quickly after All Trades Abbey.
Wow.
Yeah, there's DLC. It's like these monster slates that you get, and it opens up like little levels, like little dungeons, and you can go through them, and you can get metal slime ones that you can just like fight over and over again. And yeah, that's a way to level up pretty quickly and break the game.
Did you do that?
No, I didn't.
Oh. How did you find out about the DLC? Because I didn't fucking look.
So, yeah, I actually looked into it because
Oh.
I was like, this game's too long. I have to figure out how to cut the time down. So I looked into that, but you have to play through a couple of the dungeons before you get like the full thing unlocked.
Right.
So I didn't want to do that. But it's possible to break the game that way because right after All Trades Abbey, when you get your classes, you can just go and open up the DLC and play through it, and you can max everything out, and it has no limit.
Wow.
It's not like it would save you a ton of time, but it would save you time.
It would, yeah. It would probably shave off like a few hours.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
And it would make the game way easier than it was.
Blowing
Not that it was
through
hard, but like it would
Easier
it would neuter
emotionally.
it. The game would be neutered. No difficulty at all.
Neutered.
Yeah.
Difficult.
No, it's not difficult. It just it would be nice to have it feel shorter.
Do we have
Because-
a favorite island, though? Side plot, basically?
Side plot.
No.
No.
I mean, in a way, I think Emberdale is my favorite because I like that if the only thing that I really remembered about the game, and I told Jake this the other day, was that the boss for Emberdale is a flaming tiki head.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I remembered about Dragon Quest VII. And I was like, oh yeah, and Orgademur, but other than that, there is
Well-
not much to remember.
I'll
That's
complain
true.
about that then. If you say you like Emberdale, I hated Emberdale. You know why? Because you're sitting around trying to figure out how you're going to fix this problem with the Black Flame, right? And do you remember how you fixed that problem?
I do. You have to go find your uncle, and he has the fucking
Why
holy
the hell
water.
does he have the holy water? None.
Because he found it.
Yeah.
Is why.
That's
He found
that's
it.
real fucking
You
goddamn
mean he
convenient.
stole
I
it?
saved
It
a lot
is-
of time
It
on
is
that.
convenient, but he found it, so yeah.
I actually like that character. He's really shady.
Yeah, but that doesn't make me wasting 3 hours going everywhere trying to figure out where the hell did.
As soon as I couldn't find it in 10 minutes, I looked it up.
Couldn't you just go to like
Because
the...
I literally went everywhere across the island and talked to everyone, and nothing happened. So I was like, all right, fuck this. And then I found out your uncle has it, and no one tells you.
Of course.
No one tells
Well-
you it's there.
What about
what
the
is that thing at the beach too? The one random.
Oh wait, no. Actually, I was wrong. They do hint at it. It's one of the
One
people
close
says
to you.
One, yeah. Somebody says that someone has it.
It's the lady with the crystal ball, I think. She gives you the hint.
Yeah,
it's
she's
in the
that
inn.
fortune teller.
yeah.
But,
Which it was like okay.
but there's also that one ruins that are kind of on a beachfront. I remember.
I don't think you even talk to your uncle when you start the game
No,
at
no,
all.
no,
So you would
you
have
don't.
no idea who the hell this woman is talking about.
They introduce you to him briefly because he smacks him.
Oh,
He hits the main character.
that was months ago.
yeah.
I forgot.
when
It's
does he do
very
that?
minor.
At the very
At
beginning?
the very
Yeah.
beginning, yeah.
I thought
He's just at your house for some reason. and then he
Okay.
smacks
I
you.
honestly don't remember him
Get the fuck out of
visiting.
my house.
Yeah.
Because, like, I remember being like, who the fuck is this? And it's like, oh, it's your uncle. It's like, what? I don't remember that guy. And that was, like, at the very beginning of the game.
Yep.
So,
Uncle
okay.
Johnny, no.
Well, that's the major problem with the game. It's just too big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least we still get the casinos and the slot machines.
There's
and-
still casinos. There's
Yep.
still
Those
mini
given
medals.
things.
There's still all of the Dragon Questy stuff.
And the monster capture thing. Like, I did a little bit because you have to for the monster thing, but you have to get their hearts
Yeah.
in order to get the abilities. But the best part, did any of you compete in the competitions? The highest strength, best style, kind of like the last one. There's that board.
Yeah.
Did you guys do that?
Not really, no.
I did it.
Oh, you did?
What you end up having to do is go to the other islands in the past and in the present to figure out where these people are, to get their names basically off the leaderboard. You're like showing up like, oh, how do I kick this person out? But she's like, no, I don't want to be the best dressed, best looking one anymore. Here, take my crown. And then she'll knock off the leaderboard, and you gotta equip like Maribel with
it's
the
for
crown.
the Sage's Stone. That
Yeah.
thing? I did do that thing.
Yeah,
I think you
stuff
have
like
to.
that.
You have to
You
do
do?
it like once.
Oh, okay. But I still competed on that board. That was fun.
It was okay.
Yeah.
I followed a guide for that one, so like I just equipped what I needed to, and that was it.
Yeah.
But I didn't get the Sage's Stone. That would have probably been a little helpful
Yeah.
in the long run.
So the transports are disappointing. Do you remember what they were?
Tell me.
No. Okay. It was the boat, the magic carpet, and just the sky stone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the magic carpet.
Yeah. But we
And the
already had
boat.
magic carpet, so
I mean, yeah, it's fine to have classics. I mean, Final Fantasy goes with like an airship every fucking time, so why not have like a magic carpet every now and then?
Flying
guess so,
cars.
but-
Aladdin it up, you know?
but it pales in comparison to an entire castle or a hot air balloon.
Or a car.
Hot air
Or a
balloon
car.
was
15.
fucking sweet.
Your car can fly in 15.
I know, but I'm saying the Dragon
It's
Quest
really
one was
fucking
better
hard to
because-
control, though.
Exactly. I
Regalia
crashed a
is-
lot.
Yeah,
But it's cool.
I don't think I've ever landed it whenever I fly around.
Well, you might as well
Okay, now
not
that's
use
just
it then.
sad though, Craig.
Like every time I try, it's just like, oh, it fucked up. But it's like, oh, okay, it's really hard to land.
I just thought it was hard to control.
Well, I find it's okay to control, but like I could never land it. It never wanted to land on road. It was like, oh, you want to slam to this cactus?
Yeah. All right.
This cliff.
Yeah. You want to fly off this cliff?
So next would be design.
This one is probably the worst designed one in my opinion. Like as far as like monsters are pretty good. They're like pretty consistent, and decent, but as far as like characters and stuff, I did not care for it that much. Like the main cast, there was not much to them.
No.
Like Kiefer basically had like a weird puffy hair fro thing going on, and your main character just looks like a poor man's Link. And then
But-
like Maribel and the other characters had some design, but not
I like the
anything,
different classes. Like, it kind of remind me of Everybody's Gonna Hate This of 10-2 when you do all the dress sphere changes.
I liked that it changed up. Yeah, that is one of my favorite parts of the game. But like, it's not their design though. It's like, it's a specialty design. Like,
Okay.
I didn't have that many problems with the design.
really?
It's
I don't know.
50-50 for me. I
Kiefer
don't
looks
hate
weird,
it, but
but the other characters are okay.
I don't know.
The hero is
It's,
fine. I think the
there's-
class really helps because it changes the costumes of a lot of them.
Yeah.
So the customization of that is something I like
Yeah.
more than
I did like that, but like,
Than the standard
I still
designs.
like the.
and there doesn't seem to be too many new creatures,
No,
too many new enemies, so
Oh,
I can't
there's
fault
just-
it for that.
I
So
still
it's
think
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah, it's
thing.
just, creatures and stuff is fine, but you gotta fall
Yeah.
back onto like the new characters and the new stuff.
I still think 2 is the worst designed.
Oh, yeah.
Well, considering like there's
all
14
reskins.
creatures and like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, there's like 30 creatures, but like
Color palette.
all of them are just color palette changes of like 10 different creatures. So yeah, it 2 is not.
Yeah, we got that in the chat, so I wanted to address it.
Oh, what?
Yeah, he's like, worse than 2? So I was
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
no, we got to correct that. It's not worse than 2.
Every aspect, 2 is the worst in.
Yeah.
Every aspect, even the soundtrack, which is what we'll go into next. The soundtrack, gentlemen.
Segue.
It's good. I like the soundtrack. It's
my
fine.
favorite.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good one. It has
Between that and 4.
for the 3DS one, it's more dynamic than the other ones we've heard.
Yes.
Yep.
So like that may be why we like it more.
Yeah. There's a lot more
But
to it.
yeah, I mean it's good, and I mean I had to turn the sound off every now and then because again
Well, with
it's
all
a
the
90-hour
battles.
game.
I always do that. Like, up
I
to this
will-
point, I've
Well,
always turned the sound off.
I
after
always
a little bit
I
of
always
time.
know when there's gonna be like a new song happening, so like I turn on for the songs, but
Right.
like
So it's only during
because it's like
grinding.
basically for combat, yeah. But like it's still a 90-hour game, so you're gonna hear a lot of songs over and over and over and over and
Yep.
over. So you gotta turn the sound down.
That's when I put on South Park. Turn the sound down.
On South Park?
No.
No. Turn the sound down on 7 so I can hear South Park.
Yeah. So yeah.
How can you like watch? Well, I can't even say the word watch, but like listen to movies or TV shows. Like I don't
And a
get that. You would, like
turn-based
have to.
RPG.
Well, then you watch it. You actually would watch the show while you're grinding. Just listening.
I
to
do
it.
watch
I
the
just
show when
listen.
I'm grinding.
Okay, but the way
I
that
just
Dylan
listen.
described
I don't
it,
have
he
to
just
pay
listens.
attention. I don't have to pay attention to the game when
Like,
I'm grinding.
I'll look up every once in a while, but
I'll
it's
make
mostly
sure that
audio.
none of my characters are dead or poisoned, and then I just keep watching the show. There's like,
Yeah, and also I have my characters auto battle anyway.
Oh yeah, auto battle, of course. So why do you need to look at the 3D?
Exactly. we
Look
just
at
got to know where
actual
you're going,
TV show.
and then just
Anyway.
watch South Park.
Yeah. Not listen. All right, so I really enjoyed 7's soundtrack.
any song particular that popped out to you?
Nothing, just it's solid across the board.
There's no one specific you'd put above the rest, though.
Probably the world map theme.
That one is pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't remember anything really from soundtrack, which isn't good or
Battle
bad,
themes
but
are maybe a little weak compared to the other ones,
yeah.
but the town themes are the best ones so far I've heard in the series.
Yeah, it's pretty nice to hear like new ones because they have like a different song for every fucking place.
Oh yeah, there's a full soundtrack now.
yeah, just nothing stands out to me, which has been kind of typical for the Dragon Quest games up to
Right,
this
but-
point.
Yeah, that is true. Nothing that's really, really over the top, but it's fitting for what games are, or I should say what games were back then.
Yeah.
They didn't need to be these grand, monstrous masterpieces of set pieces. They just needed to fit a game. And I think Sugiyama does that quite well still.
So we're like up to 2001 as far as like the games go in the series. We're at 2001. So it's understandable that nothing's really that impressive yet. But like there are some games with good soundtracks.
Of course.
But I don't know. I just don't feel like this one's that great. It's just a solid middle ground one.
He's consistent. He's not a Nobu or Mitsuda.
But
or whoever does the Yee's soundtracks.
What I was getting at is that good music is possible, but this isn't like a great example of awesome video game music.
Yeah, don't use that music as a catalyst to tell your story.
Dragon Quest VII, or well, not just Dragon Quest VII, but Dragon Quest in general doesn't really go for like Nobuo Uematsu for Final Fantasy does things for emotion. He goes for like the big scores. Like he wants you to focus on the music itself, whereas like for Dragon Quest, it's more like background ambience, melody. Yeah, like it's not supposed to like take over the game. It's meant to like accent it. So that's why it's more like he's more consistent because he doesn't try to like. He doesn't try to make things like weird or like. FF8 hits terrible. Anyway,
drips.
Dragon Quest in general, just like the music is very consistent across the series because it's not trying to be big and loud and like forceful, whereas other series tend to do that.
Right.
And that kind of is good, and it kind of hurts it.
It's more
when
like
we're used to RPGs that do that kind of thing.
Well, yeah. If you compare it to Final Fantasy,
I don't feel like it's a lesser thing.
No, it's
but
not
I
lesser.
don't
We just
feel like it's a bonus either. It's just it's there.
Yeah.
It serves its purpose, but it also doesn't like detract.
Yeah.
So
we get set in our ways because of stuff like that. When there's different ways to approach an RPG, when most of us, our repertoire in RPGs has been that kind of thing, it's just a bit of a climate shift for us to adjust to it.
Up to this point, though, I think Final Fantasy's music has been way, way better.
Of course, Nobu's
it's also way more inconsistent.
That's very true too. Yep.
There are some real lows.
Yeah.
But then there are also like a handful of highs.
Well, to you, yeah.
Well, you don't think there's a handful of highs?
I think there's more than a handful.
Oh, there's more than a handful, Craig.
Yeah.
There's a handful.
All right, well, let's get off Final Fantasy then. We've been down that route before.
No, it'll never end.
Nope.
Differences in our 3DS remake versus the original PlayStation one. We got a radar that was added to make stone fragments easier to find. Apparently they didn't have that.
I would not go back and play that game just knowing that now.
Yeah?
Nope, I wouldn't do it.
There are street pass stones placed in the haven to go online trade items with other players. We done fucked up.
Well, I knew
still
about
available.
it, but I just had no interest in it.
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently in the PlayStation version, it would only change a party member's appearance to a monster upon mastery of the class.
Oh, that's funny. Did you try out any of the monster classes?
Only for rough.
Yeah.
Job levels go up a lot faster for us.
Oh, that's good.
Spells and skills for upper division jobs. Okay, we didn't go into this so much, but there's beginner classes. And then similar to Final Fantasy Tactics or Tactics
you have to
Ogre,
like master certain classes to a certain point,
right,
and then move on to other ones to then make up the higher tiered classes.
Right.
So it's like a combination of two lower classes that equal higher classes.
I say like beginner, intermediate, and expert.
Yeah.
That'd be probably the best way to go about it. But the upper, like the mastery jobs, are only usable when in that class, giving the last part of the main game more balance.
In the OG
so
one?
you literally, you would have to like master the class, in order for you to transfer the abilities over.
So what happens when you're at like the beginner level?
You don't get
just-
to use the abilities when you're outside the
Yeah, so
class,
you
I guess.
can't become a mage as a
Oh,
warrior.
that sucks. So it just like disappears?
No, I think you still
No,
have it.
it's
It
just-
just you can't use
just
them.
don't use it.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of true in this one too.
No, it transfers over.
Not everything though. Not every power transfers when you switch to certain
Not until you get
classes.
to the expert. Yeah, the expert ones. But the game's text had been revised in the fashion of previous remakes. It now uses a mixture of Commonwealth English and regional dialects from other parts of the world. Like that one kid in the first thing that spoke like he was, what was the language? Ireland? He was Irish.
Yeah.
He was Irish.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of common throughout the Dragon Quest games,
And
Yeah,
the
they
name-
have different areas and different accents.
which is cool. I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
It's something that like no other game really does. Like
Yeah.
everybody is just the same, no matter if you're going into different countries or not.
Are you
That's true.
sure about that?
Yeah.
I thought you hated Final Fantasy X. That is a horrible Islander.
Ugh.
They do it. Horribly, but
Not-
they do it.
Not really.
Every time Waka talks in that game, I just think it's Bender.
I get that
Yeah.
more from Kamari, though.
No, Ben. Like
It's just Bender.
Waka, yeah, it's just Bender, but with like he's doing a weird accent.
Yep.
I see it more in Kamari.
I always want to I want to mod Final Fantasy X really bad and just replace Waka
with Bender.
and then just like replace his
What-
lines with more Bendery lines.
Just replace all of the cast with Futurama cast members.
I would do, yeah. Titus would be Fry, but like
Oh, he's cringing over here.
it would be great though because like I wanna hear like Bender talk to it would be like Bender talking to Lulu and she'd say something nice to him and he's like, "Shut up, baby, I know it." I'm gonna go make my own blitzball team with blackjack and hookers. and then Final Fantasy X would be good.
Well, it would be better.
It would be good.
Clearly, the names of people and places were also changed. And of course, more puns, which I can't remember the puns to save my life. I don't know why, but I can't remember them.
I don't know. I don't remember them unless I write them down.
Yeah. There's apparently
I
a
didn't-
manga, because why would there not be a manga
For 7?
for 7? Yeah.
Why? There's no story.
But apparently,
They made story for the
the
manga.
hero
Does it,
was
like,
given
continue?
the name Aris. It
Aris?
follows the game's story while adding in a new character and more detailed relationships as the original
Oh, so it
hero was
gives
silent
the
and
game a story.
Personality
Okay.
needed to be added. So we should have had to integrate reading the manga.
So we
for
should have
this
just
review.
just read the manga.
Yeah, and
instead.
saved so much time. Apparently, in 2015, a fan attempted to translate the game itself. However, Square Enix shut the project down because that's what they do. They're almost as bad as Nintendo.
Well, it makes sense in this context.
Shortly after it started, they announced that they would be remaking it for the 3DS, and that it would also be coming to the West. So, not too much interesting trivia other than that, but so do we want to get into our final thoughts?
Yeah. So final thoughts. The game is a good entry level point in a way,
No.
but there are other games that are better for it. The reason I say it's a good entry point is because it's a really easy one overall. There's nothing hard in it like some of the other ones. 6 had a really difficult last boss.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
so did 2 and other ones, but
2 was just difficult all around.
yeah, and 5 had some moments of difficulty. So I would say that 7 is just easy throughout because it's a fairly scaled game.
Yeah.
However, like the length of the game is a huge deterrent for anyone that wants to start Dragon Quest.
Especially with like how little there is story wise. It's no Persona 5.
Yeah, it feels like Persona 5 is fairly consistent. Like the amount of story is spread throughout the entire game, so you're getting a real good amount throughout.
And it motivates you to push through.
Yeah, because you're like because you want to find out what's more because you're getting the story. Whereas like in Dragon Quest VII, you don't get anything. You get isolated little stories, but that's not a motivation because they're not even like only a handful are even decent storylines, and there's a lot of repetition in the game. So that's a huge deterrent for anyone wanting to start Dragon Quest VII.
Yeah.
Or their first RPG ever.
Yeah, it
would start on this one.
Yeah, it's not a good one to start on, but it would be a decent one to go to if you're wanting to play an RPG over a long period of time.
Yeah.
And I can't say this from experience, but just go with the 3DS version, please.
Yeah.
Well, just for that fragment thing alone, I couldn't imagine having to track those down.
Or that 5-hour puzzle we haven't brought up.
Like,
Like,
find some
apparently at the beginning, it's nothing but a puzzle.
Oh,
remember
with
the pillars?
colors?
Yeah, the pillar at the beginning.
Yeah.
Where you literally just go to the left and the right, and you pick the shit up off the torches.
Yeah.
Yep.
You had to solve puzzles to get those to show up. Ugh. And it took like 5 hours.
Yeah, I wouldn't go with that one.
There's a lot of padding in 7, and there's even more in the original 7.
Yeah.
So, play the shorter version, which isn't really short, because they only shaved off, like, maybe 10 hours.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's a good game, but it's one I would not recommend.
I feel like if the game were, like I said, 2/3 shorter, it would be a good game. Because the amount of character development, which is very, very little, would be okay for like a 30-hour game. It would be okay. It would be not great, but it would be okay. Mm-hmm. The gameplay is still good for the series.
Yeah.
The soundtrack is good. Like the amount of side quests that they would have available for you for the other islands would be pretty fucking fantastic.
Yeah, if they were optional.
You'd have a lot to explore. You'd have a lot to do if you wanted to go do those things, but you have to do them, and there's like no motivation for it. It makes the game feel less because of it, because there's like, it's so spread, it's so dull because there's nothing happening, and you're literally like, it takes an hour of the beginning of the game to even get into a battle.
That's true, yeah.
Like, it's sick. Like, it's a slog. You have to go in order to like make anything of this game.
And the game is so boring until you get to All Trades Abbey, and then it opens up like what the gameplay should have been from the start.
Yeah, the gameplay finally opens up, but then the story just it still won't happen for another few hours.
And then 5 doesn't need to worry about it.
So it took me 40 hours about to get to All Trades Abbey.
Oh, what?
And that's when the game starts to get like
that would make sense on why every new area he probably went to, he had already reached the fucking level cap.
Yeah.
That fits.
So
it fits.
The newer characters,
experience.
the newer characters I would get would have
a chance
higher
to
classes than that older ones, because my older characters would have been leveled up too high.
Yeah, you played the thing completely wrong. That sucks. I feel bad for you.
The level cap, it goes away like maybe 25 hours before the game ends. So like when you're fighting the dwarves.
Fighting the dwarves, yeah.
Not fighting them, like when you find them.
Yeah.
Around that area. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
But like that's when the level cap goes away. But like at that point you only have 20 hours left in the gameplay, in the game. Like, it just isn't a fun experience.
It's really not.
I didn't like the level cap thing.
Yeah, you have to play it consistently while switching stuff out so that you get an evenly leveled party.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the cap will fuck you.
It did. Till the end of the game.
Yeah.
And then I was underleveled at the last boss, so I had to go back and grind the levels more and also the classes more. Which I didn't mind. I thought that was actually kind of fun. Leveling up the classes, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, the game is fun, but it's also really boring.
It was tedious.
It's really inconsistent in that way because like you can't. I mean, it's fun, but it's also a slog.
Yep.
So
Longest
like
slog
because
of my life.
because it, like the only reason I was able to just really go for it is because the game was fun while playing it, gameplay wise, but not much else. Like I had no motivation other than I had to beat it for this to really go for it.
So you take
We
the average of
appreciate
both
your
things.
dedication to the
I know,
podcast. It
I
means
do
a lot.
too.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Didn't
All
you
6
finish
of
in
our
June?
listeners.
Yeah. I finished it a while ago.
And then Jake finished in July?
More akin to August, I think. Maybe early August.
I think it was like early to mid August.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the end of August for me.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Oh, pun. Very funny.
Yeah, the game.
All right.
It's
I will say this is the longest RPG. I have a long history of playing RPGs. This is single-handedly the longest RPG I've ever played in my life.
really.
I should hate it. Yeah.
I have like 300 hours.
You
in
haven't played
Pokemon.
Persona, have you?
No, I've never played a
Okay.
Shin Megami Tensei
Okay.
game yet.
That makes sense because like both 4 and 5 are
Oh, I know.
real
They're even
long.
longer than that. Yeah.
It doesn't feel
And like
that
for the main
long,
content,
though.
let
Five.
me give a little
It
bit
doesn't
more
feel that long in
context.
5, no, but
I'll give a little bit more context. I've spent more time playing the other games of RPGs because I've played through them consistently again and again and again. But overall, all arcing content, I could still beat everything in Final Fantasy XII in less time than it takes for the main campaign of Dragon Quest VII. It is nuts. I should absolutely hate this game to a dread. But there are still some redeeming aspects. I still enjoy the soundtrack. The design isn't half bad. And the last 20 hours are quite good, in which case it's still kind of a plus for me, but it has problems. The one nitpick that I haven't gotten into yet, the mini medals were completely fine. They were fine. 4, 5, and 6 wasn't that big of a deal. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Explain to me why you're gaining mini medals in 7 for 70 fucking hours of this goddamn game, and then near the end of the game, when all the equipment is obsolete,
Yep.
the mini medal king shows up.
Well,
You
it's
are-
not worth it.
You are kidding me. I thought I was
there
gonna
not
get
a
some
way
good
to
shit,
find
but
him
he didn't.
earlier?
No, because he's on one of the continents that get unlocked. I swear it's like the 9th or 10th.
Well, you can fly
Side
there
one that-
on your carpet.
Yeah, after the continent is revitalized and
Yeah.
brought back. And that's like the 10th or the 11th continent.
Yeah,
What?
that's true.
I don't remember that
Yeah.
being so late, but yeah, that's
It's really fucking late.
I don't usually bother with the mini medals though.
Well, they did pay off before.
Yeah.
yeah.
don't
Some of
now.
them do give good equipment early on,
I know AIDS
but
will.
yeah, yeah, 8 does, but
Yeah, it does.
There's that.
yeah, 7, yeah.
So play it if you're a die-hard Dragon Quest fan. If not, go to other ones.
I mean, yeah, like if you really want to play like an RPG over time, it's okay, but there are better ones that you can go with.
Yeah.
Um,
Even in the Dragon Quest
I mean, it's a
series, too.
good game, but the slog of it is too much to really like redeem all of its bad qualities.
Okay, so one of the listeners brings up a good point. You get your money's worth in content.
Oh, hell yeah, you do.
Yep. So I agree. That's a positive aspect of the game.
I mean,
I spent like 25
yeah.
bucks on this game, and yeah.
Yep. It was completely worth it money
Hell yeah.
wise.
Yeah, it was.
Especially if
Thank
you're a
you for the
fan of the
question.
series.
Yeah. And I believe I asked a few questions on things like Facebook, and We got one from Adam Funk. And what was the most difficult part of the game, boss or area?
I would say having the desire to continue playing.
Yeah.
So
was
is he
the
saying
most
like
difficult
between
part.
those two or just like overall?
Anything in general. Me, it was the Bat Boone fight.
Oh yeah, that guy was
That guy's a
ass.
cunt. Not as much as a cunt as the karate guy in the last game. What was that guy's name again?
I don't fucking know.
I know who you're
the
talking about.
transgender karate master that stole the shit from the kingdom.
Yeah, I remember that guy because it's fucking weird, but
Yeah.
I don't. I don't
Okay.
remember his name because it's been
Yeah,
like
that was
half a year.
Horrible fight.
I don't know. The hardest part for me was running into like enemy after enemy. Like if you're in a really narrow area,
Right.
you can't avoid them.
Yeah,
so you just have to go through.
because like
'em.
if they see you, then they start chasing you down. Yeah, that is kind of annoying.
Yep. It wasn't
So
One of those
difficult.
like ragtime music tunes. Do 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 as they're chasing you.
Yeah.
Well, I guess sometimes it was difficult because you'd run out of magic at some point, and like that's your healing.
I mean,
Your healing's out more.
there's kind of there's a good and evil aspect to that because like it's not random battles, so you have a chance to just get away before you can just run away.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's that.
But then you detour completely from where the fuck you was trying to go.
Sometimes, yeah.
So like
Sometimes.
some of the caves were really narrow and hard to avoid enemies.
Oh yeah,
Those were difficult.
It's an automatic fight. Yeah.
Yeah, it was difficult because you'd run out of resources, basically.
Yeah. So I'd like to hear about the critical reception of this game before we get into our final rankings.
Should we take a guess at what we think the score would be?
I already know it, so it'd be up to you two.
Is it based on Metacritic or what?
I have both Metacritic and game rankings, and some quotes from other
All right.
publications.
I'm gonna guess an 80.
I'm going to say 77.
78 on Metacritic and
Eh?
81 on game rankings.
That seems a little high.
Maybe a little.
For me
up there.
personally, it seems a little high.
I would give it like a 70. Well,
I think that's fair.
I don't know. The time slog just really makes me want to drag it down. But it's not really a bad game. But the time drag is like
That's the saddest part. It's a good game, but it's just
it's really overburdened by the amount of time it takes to like really get into the game.
Yeah.
Because like getting into the game is seriously like Emberdale, All Trades Abbey, and then the last 20 hours. So literally like 20 and a half hours you have story, and then like that's the game.
Yep.
Yeah, the ending was actually really long too. The
Yeah.
ending video because it goes from like each continent.
Yeah, like
I
they
was
were
like,
gonna
this is never
explain.
ending.
Yeah, like they were gonna explain something. It's the never-ending story of
Yeah.
Dragon Quest VII.
Oh, jeez. Wouldn't that be 6 already, though, because of the flying... Oh, what was his name? The Zenithian king?
Yeah, maybe.
He'd be the one in the never-ending story. That would make more sense, but the
Yeah, there was
biblical...
no
dragon.
There was no
Yeah.
dragon in this one.
Yeah,
That's been a
I know.
reoccurring character.
I know, right?
It's just kind of weird. They are called Dragon Quest. There should be a dragon.
Well, there's
Famitsu...
dragon enemies, but
Well, I know,
No
but like it
dragon
was
god.
like a main dragon enemy for the first one, and then there was kind of the Dragon Lord in 2, and the Dragon Lord's mom in 3. And then like there's the dragon for 4, 5, and 6,
Zenithian...
and 7 just doesn't really have anything.
well, Ogadamir is kind of dragon-like.
But he's like called the Demon Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ortimer
know.
was a man. He was a dragon man. But he was still...
Trogdor.
Trogdor.
Famitsu
man, I
in
haven't seen that shit
2006
forever.
voted Dragon Quest VII the 9th best video game of all time. Yes.
God, do they not play games?
They sometimes Famitsu.
There's just such a bias
There's
with
an
Dragon Quest
interesting
games.
thing too.
Because because it's just a middle level Dragon Quest. I
It
would
won
say.
the grand prize in Digital Interactive Art Division at the 4th Japan Media Arts Festival in 2000, where the game was praised for being engaging without depending on a high degree of realism, and well-refined and artificially executed. Well, it is very, very...
Parts of it are well executed.
It's the high degree of realism is for you to realize how boring life is.
Well,
This is based on the PlayStation 1 version of the game.
I know all these are, yeah.
they must really like
The grind.
story. Yeah, the grind. Like that's the only thing I can think of because like that's all that game is the grind.
It's
Yeah,
not
even
that
the
fun of a
story
grind.
is a grind.
Because like it's not even really a story. It's like little subsections that each have their own little stories that have nothing to do with an overarching thing except for like a throwaway line that a few characters sometimes say.
Yeah.
Like fucking Flaming Tiki Head. He's like, oh yeah, there's somebody above me. And that's like all you get as far as a story hint for the next like 40 hours.
Yeah. That really is bad. IGN noted that the first 100 hours of the game are enjoyable despite the dated visuals and clunky presentation.
Wait, the first 100 hours of the game?
Yeah.
It's IGN. They struggle.
Was there a second half of 100 hours like that they were missing? Like only the first 100 hours was really great. We didn't get to the like last 200 hours
is when
though.
IGN actually played and finished games before their reviews came out. What is this?
No, but like
I doubt it.
the
I know,
statement. It's more
I
like
know,
the
I know.
statement of it. The statement
said-
of the first 100 hours, as
I
if
know.
there's like more.
They also said that the class system is one of the best class systems seen outside of a strategy RPG.
Yeah, I mean it's decent, but it's like
It builds on the other ones, though.
Well,
that were
7's
already
perfecting
introduced.
it then.
Yeah.
I know.
it perfects it, yeah, but there's like God, it's the slog. Like the time is literally like it drains any love I have for the game. Like I want to praise parts of it, but at the same time I'm like, but even that good aspect is touched and tainted in some way by the sheer amount of time it takes for the
Please
game.
tell us how you were touched.
I just did. I was touched. It was touched.
We're having an
I was touched
intervention.
poorly by the amount of time that Dragon Quest VII takes.
So this is a good touch versus a bad touch situation.
yes.
Show me on the notes where it touched you.
I don't know if that's a good anatomical figure.
No. We can draw one for you, though.
It's true. We could do that.
Yeah.
Look, there's a pig sticker here.
Okay, it was right around that leg.
That looks like the penis.
That's where a penis would probably be. Yes. On, I think that's the pig from Toy Story.
It is.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
he has
Tam.
a penis.
All right. So
I'm pretty sure he just has like a screw on the bottom of his stomach where all the coins fall out. So
that's where
maybe
it's
that's
at you.
maybe that's like the equator there. That's where his junk is.
rankings, gentlemen.
Okay. I have to really think about this because I'm gonna change it up. I'm not gonna go by like technicalities anymore. I'm gonna go by what I feel. I'm gonna
pulling a Kanye here.
I'm feeling this one out here. So let's see.
We're gonna make our list great again.
Let's go.
Fill
Worst
it
to
up by changing
best.
the hat.
Worst to
Worst
best.
to best.
Why? I'll just go best
Just
first.
changing
It's
it
like
up.
so, okay, so 5, 4, 3, 7. Wait, I forgot one. All right, so 5, 4, 1, 3, 7,
You're nuts.
6, 2.
And then builders.
Oh yeah, builders would be above 6.
Really?
Well, tied with 6.
Okay. Do you have yours, Jake, or do you want me to go?
I have mine ready.
Okay, go for it.
It's gonna be 5,
Mm-hmm.
4,
Mm-hmm.
3,
Mm-hmm.
6, Yes, 6. Above 7. I still had more fun in 6 than I did 7. You people are nuts.
Right.
7 killed me. All right. I can't say it's better than 6. I can't. I just can't. I love 7 soundtrack, but I just can't do that.
Okay.
Okay.
7, and then 1, then 2, then Builders.
Okay.
You think Builders is worse than 2?
Yes. I don't know. I don't even remember what my list was. It'll probably change.
I'm pretty sure you had Builders higher than 2.
Well, it's how he feels right now, so.
Fine. All right.
See, I had a
Put
lot of
Builders
fun
and
with
then 2.
1. That's why 1 is up there.
I know, but you put it
Yeah.
above 3.
Okay, so mine is
1 is great.
1 is great. But
1
it's
is
not
like
great.
a perfect old game.
Well, you played it on the app.
That's true, but still.
I played it on NES.
The version that I played is the perfect version of the old games.
Okay, that might be a fair statement. I've never played it on that, so
You should. It's like $1. And it's like 7 hours long.
mine was like 11 or 12 when I played it first.
Search your
NES
feelings,
cut-
Dylan. You know 6 is better than 7.
I have my rankings. Okay, it's 5, 4, 3, not 2. Just kidding. It was like a countdown. 7, 6. Well, yeah, 7, 6, 1, Builders, and 2.
The only difference between me and you is our disagreement on 6 and 7.
Yeah, I think 7 is better.
No, and Builders. Put Builders above 2.
I
Yeah.
would too. Yeah,
Yeah. I switched it up.
2
I'll
was
put
the
Builders
worst.
above 2.
I'm sure I would have had a better experience if I played it on the app,
Yeah.
but I didn't, and I regret it.
You should.
I do.
You should replay it.
I will say, fully in my defense, that at least 6 has a plot. So,
You should do it.
I'm good.
6
a
has a
good
plot, people. That's
So,
the
yeah.
only reason why it's higher than 7, because there's actually something there.
Vaguely.
There's something at the end of 7.
Oh,
Yeah, there's something at the end of 7.
That's enough for me to put it over 6.
Oh, I mean,
At the end of the
game
experience,
is
she
good
finally
outside
felt
of
something
like.
inside of her.
I mean, outside of the 70 hours, you're like slogging through 7. It's a good
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. All right. Well, follow our.
Yes,
Social media?
we have our social medias. We have our Twitter, Puff Hour, Facebook. You could review us on iTunes if you want, or if you're a Libsyn type person, just let us know what you think of the show. You could go to puffhour.geekdomentertainment.com. That is our official website. You can get a hold of us there, or you can get a hold of us on our Twitter handles. Mine is at Wandering Flame.
Mine is at Obsidian Bar.
At Dylan0826.
It's not D-Ron Media.
Oh, it's D-ROM Media.
Hey,
It's
you got
D-ROM
2.
Media. It's been too long.
You
I
forgot.
have 2, so you can follow me on either one.
Yeah, message us with comments, concerns, questions.
Got our Facebook page. Got
Yeah, is that-
Patreon if you're interested in that.
Yeah, we apologize to the Patreon people, the 2 of us that left us. I'm sorry about the delay. I don't hold anything personal against you for dropping off.
Well, one of them
No, that
was
makes sense.
One of them was me, so
Well, I don't hold it against you.
okay. I'm glad to hear that. All
that's
right.
great.
Well,
I do.
we'll
Yeah.
see you next time on our review of Dragon Quest VIII.
Yes. Oh, no, there might be another episode between then, hopefully.
Let's not
There's a
commit to
Sujiyama
something.
highlight.
8 shouldn't be that far away.
Right.
Sujiyama can be between 8 and 9.
Well, I'm done.
You guys don't want to
Caleb's
get into the
done.
controversial statements by Sujiyama that everybody got in a fucking uproar about last
We can
month?
talk about that between.
Oh, that's
8
right.
and 9.
We didn't do news today.
All right.
Great
so, and
show,
now,
guys. I'm glad the podcast is still around.
thank
you, Mud Puppy 510.
And we will try.
Thanks for watching.
to get
Thanks
this
for joining
more
us.
often. Yes, you were awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right.
Well,
What is our sign-offs again?
I don't know, but
Quest on.
Oh, yeah, no.
enjoy.
Keep it super and keep it questy.